and welcome to my 517 Fellow Friday series. Today, I have the pleasure of chatting with Rebecca Allan from Capital National Bank. Rebecca is the Vice President of Commercial Lending, and she works with businesses to offer them solutions that are going to help them succeed. So thank you so much for taking time to chat with me today.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it, Katrina.
Let's start with just how you got into the lending field and really ended up as VP at Capital National Bank.
Sure. I'll try and make this a little quicker. So I actually started out in banking. I actually started out in real estate years ago. I got my real estate license in Detroit area when I was 21. So I moved from Detroit area to here, pregnant with my third child, ended up being a stay-at-home mom for a bit. So yeah, it was rough. Staying home mom was not for me with three kids. After a year, I wanted to do something, which was not real estate at the time. And it was just a new area, new everything. So someone mentioned get a part-time job at a bank. So Fifth Third had just merged and bought out locally here, like Community First and Old Kent. So I started as a part-time teller, and quickly, I love people. I love working with people. Quickly became a supervisor and what they called like a team lead at the time, and then started doing a lot of lending, a lot of personal lending. I was good at it. I don't know if it was my real estate background. I'm not sure. Did a lot of first mortgages, second mortgages. Next thing you know, someone asked me if I could close a business loan for them. And I was like, okay, like I'll do this for you. And I hit off with the business owners, and that was just it for me. And I would have business owners drive a half hour just to come work with me and deal with me all over the whole region. I'd have people come from Williamston. So, it just depended. Word of mouth was great. And I had a lot of, we had what we called at the time small business lenders that did commercial lending around under like $1 million. And that's something I'd wanted to do. Became a branch manager, was out in Ionia and moved out to Ionia as a branch manager at Fifth Third. And really was getting ready to make the move to a business relationship manager when everything happened in 2008, 2009. Everything caught up in 2009. Positions were eliminated. They no longer had business bankers. I had to tell great clients that we, were no longer extending credit to them. It was a rough time. It was a very rough time. And I had the choice at the time to leave banking, and I took it. I was like, maybe I'm done. I went over to Jackson National for 8 years, got my securities license, was a supervisor there in their call center, worked with the legal team. Tremendously, loved it, learned a lot while I was there. For me to do what I wanted there, I would have had to go out to Tennessee, which I couldn't do. In the meantime, someone had referred me back to Fifth Third. They said, hey, we're bringing, community business relationship managers back. Does anyone know anyone? And I had a friend that was like, yes, I know someone who'd be fantastic, but you'd have to reach out to her. She works for a great company. She's not going to leave willingly. So as we call the golden handcuffs, a great company like that with the benefits. And so Fifth Third did. Their HR reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love you to come back. We heard you're great with businesses. And my first day, I was managing out in DeWitt. And the first day, 2 businesses that came in and said, remembered me from 8 years before then. So it was great. Our regional manager was there like, oh man, like this was a great decision. So it was kind of funny. I jumped back into it in those 2 years, really got my feet wet with business banking again. Nothing had obviously changed much in that, it's pretty easy to deal with. I loved it, succeeded, was very, very successful out in DeWitt. And in the meantime, Chase then had came out to me and said, hey, we need a business banker here in Lansing. And all the time, like in all those years, I had friends and clients that always said, you need to go to a small community bank or a credit because you are focused on the small areas. The bigger banks, I love them. I did love Fifth Third. And I had a great time at Chase, but they say they want to operate as a community bank, but it's hard. It's still hard for them to do. So, people had told me that. So it was kind of funny that people had told me that, and I still went bigger. Then I went to Chase. I was there about 6 months when COVID hit, and we just switched to PPP loans. That was it. I was working day and night doing PPP loans for businesses all through the state of Michigan. And we actually were by the second or third week, learned to put them into, I was doing them for Texas. I mean, we were just pulling the next one, the next application. We were just pulling it. Didn't even matter where it was. I would be calling someone from a 517 area code. They, and they didn't even care. They were like, yes, here's my information. Let's just get this going. So it was an interesting time working from my dining room table all hours of the night, but it was great. We got to help a lot of businesses. Obviously, it was not their choice to shut down.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses actually still made good money. A lot of businesses weren't negatively impacted, but it was very tough when, they made the decision still not to really lend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so that was really tough for me, where I heard some community banks were still lending and credit unions. So, a little over a year later, a headhunter had reached out to me, and I kind of wasn't interested, but she kept reaching out, leaving me voicemails, and finally said, listen, we have a credit union area that really would love a great lender. They hadn't had anyone for 10 months during of 2020. So when I finally talked to them, and they said it was from LAFQ, and I would be their only commercial lender. So it was interesting, and I learned a lot, and I loved it. Same thing. We have I've always told clients, especially business clients, your health and your wealth are the two things you obviously want second opinions on. And same thing for your business. You want second opinions on it. And you want, after 2007, 2008, it taught us you need to have 2 or 3 banking relationships.
Yeah.
One should be a credit union. One can be a large bank. One needs to be a small community bank. You cannot have all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
You just can't. Again, that taught if that didn't teach you something, then, you need another lesson, someone's gonna need a hard lesson to learn. But so I did see a lot of my clients there, which was great that they had taken that advice. It was tough because I'm used to doing, when I'm dealing with a business owner like yourself, like I have the whole relationship, like checking, savings, we have cash management solutions, I had the whole product and what I call the suite of products and the whole relationship. And then shifting to a credit union, I just dedicated just to commercial lending. So it was an interesting dynamic for me. And clients would have brought me the whole thing, but all credit unions aren't designed to have that. They don't offer the cash management solutions. So we couldn't actually help the clients in everything. Right. So it kind of gave me time to not worry about that and just dedicate myself and learning even tremendously more about just commercial lending. So there's a lot of different things that larger banks did. We had our back office do, where here I got to do myself and actually learn how to do it. So even though I was credit trained, it was nice to actually see and implement the credit and how we do that. And it was very good and a wealth of knowledge for me, which then propelled me to even, do more. Right. So I had met another CEO from a credit union Detroit area. We had met, and she, her and I really meshed really well. They wanted to build their commercial department and wanted me to come there as their commercial business development officer. And I worked there for a few months and loved it. It was hard for me to just work remotely with a home base that far away. Yeah. And with the construction, if you've ever been on 696 and 96, it was tough. They were based out of Southfield. Oh. So when I'd have to go there, it was very tough. And then like just little things that you didn't think about, like I wasn't able to print at home, like things and they wouldn't allow me to. So little things like, right. It was very like, ooh, and I had a lot of closings. I did, $3 million in 3 months with them, so it was great. But in the meantime, so Capital National, where I'm at now, I love, had came out to me, a headhunter had reached out over a year ago. So a year and a half ago now. And when they had talked to me, the position was SBA only, lender. And I had done some SBA, but a lot of my clients are more investors. So SBA doesn't do investment real estate. So I had declined it. I didn't even take an interview a year and a half ago. I was like, no, thank you. Thank you for the offer, but I'm fine. So then here it is. I would say, I think it was like February. So I just taken a job in January. Here it is, February, March. This headhunter's, reaching out again. I'm like, well, I think we talked like a year ago. And he's like, well, it's not SBA only now. And I was like, don't tell me that. So, and kept coming after me. So it was just, feels good to be wanted, obviously. Yeah. So I finally had that conversation with him, and he's like, what's a phone call? And I'm like, I don't know. I just took a job in January. I've never been a job hopper. Like, obviously, I was with Fifth Third originally for 8 years. I was at Jackson National for 8 years. Like, I'm a long-term, person traditionally. So it was weird to jump from Fifth Third to Chase to LAFQ. They were all extremely knowledgeable. It was great, so it was weird. But I had the conversation with the bank president, Ed, went fantastic. And he's like, all right, this conversation went, so you have to come in and meet Kristen, our CEO, and me in person. Can you just do it? And I was like, all right, same thing. I'm interviewing them too, because obviously I
Right.
don't need to move. I love what I'm doing. And I get here, it's downtown Lansing, so kind of back home, home roots. And so it was just kind of nice and we clicked, the energy was there. A lot of the clients overlap,
Mhm.
so there wasn't like new territory. So I made the hard decision to, I don't want to bring genders into it, but I think as women, we traditionally don't always do what's best for us.
Yeah,
I know that sounds horrible, but
it's hard.
it
And
is. I know tons of men that have jumped and job hopped and never thought anything of it. But I was like, and people were giving me crap about it. And I was like, when I was in Florida for a week and I had to think about it, because I didn't expect a job offer immediately. And they did right the day after I met them, I got a great job offer letter. So I was like, oh no, and here I'm going to Florida for a week. So I took that time to really reflect and had to be like, what is best for you and
right.
your career and your mental health, driving in traffic, so it came down to it where I was like, okay, and I had a great rapport with the CEO. I was very upfront with her. We talked about it. So it wasn't just, so it ended very well.
Good.
But there was a lot of other factors involved and I'm glad I made the move. And but yeah, so they offered me the position of VP commercial lender here. Dave was a gentleman who'd been here 37 years. And I didn't know this at the time, but that's why they had reached out to me as he was retiring. And they wanted someone to kind of take over his portfolio
Mhm.
and obviously bring in their own book of business and their own clients, which I'm good at. So, and I love doing. So yes, that's how I ended up here. So long story, but that's it in a nutshell.
I think that's a great story because it really highlights even though you've worked for so many different banks, I think it really highlights the diversity that you have been able to experience, all the different types of things that you've done and that you've learned. And it really shows that in each of those opportunities, not only did you excel, but you went into it like, what can I learn? How can I grow from this experience? So I just think that must make you a really good person to work with. So I don't know,
Well,
that's what
thank
I'm
you.
getting from it. Um, you said you started out, and like worked your way up. So you did the teller stuff and obviously um, worked with regular folks and worked with small businesses and big businesses. What is it that you love the most about working with business owners?
So I would say it's kind of watching their dreams come true. Like, and like when I have people like my tellers used to be kind of I don't want to say afraid, nervous might be the best word to deal with businesses. And I
Yeah.
had to break it down like it's just almost another person. A business is just another entity and it's usually an extension of the owner.
Yeah.
Usually it started from hopes and
Nothing.
dreams
Hmm.
from nothing and they've usually built it up. Very rarely is
Oh,
someone just a business owner because they inherited it. Very rarely does that happen.
yeah.
So once I was able to kind of get that in perspective to people, and I think that's why my rapport is so great with business because I understand that the businesses. I worked with a lot of businesses that did have, that were being bought out. So,
Hmm.
or that had multi generations kind of taking over and working on buyouts. And I know the layers to it.
Right.
And I appreciate how hard business owners have worked to get where they are. And when they get to me, they've either done everything. I don't want to say right or wrong because that sounds horrible, but they've done everything right. And if not, when they get to me and they haven't, I tell them what to do so they can get lending from me.
Right.
A lot of times business owners, and I don't know if you started this way, but a lot of times it was a side gig at first until you feel like
Yep.
you could quit the W-2,
Yep.
until you could get to that point. So you weren't focused on everything. You're usually focused on one or two things.
Yep.
So I've had people come to me and say, "Oh my God, I'm making, this money. Can I get a loan?" But yet their taxes aren't showing that because their
Yeah.
CPA is telling them, "Oh, write all these deductions," which is great, And I can only add in, I can add in certain deductions, but I can't add in. So you can tell me all day you're making money, but I have to see it on paper to do the
Yeah.
loan.
Yeah.
And
That's so
so
hard.
I get yeah, it's brutal and it's tough, but I get a lot of people that love me for that, that I'm upfront and honest about it. I'm extremely direct, and I appreciate the same, but I don't want to waste your time or mine as a business owner. If I can't help you, I tell you. And then if I can, great. And if I can't right now, I'm going to tell you what I can do to help you in the future. And hopefully, things can move on like that. So I think that's why I get a lot of repeat business and a lot of word of mouth referrals. Like, hey, she won't mess around. She's if she can't help you, she can tell you. She's not going to take 6 weeks to say no, So, and I also get that. I know this sounds crazy, and I just talked about that this morning. I actually get a lot of like broker business because I answer my phone or a
Oh,
text,
yeah.
like and emails within 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
I get people that is like, we've literally sent this out to 5 banks and no one will call us back, or credit unions, or whatever. And it's like the lack of response is just kind of crazy, because I'm like, I'm here to do my, I don't know. It is what it is. I can't speak why people don't call back, but people, I've had referrals just because of that.
Right.
If anything, she's going to answer the phone. She can't help you. She's going to tell you. And that says a lot for a lot of my peers that maybe aren't, as responsive. So, but yeah, I hope I answered your actual question. I kind of went on a tangent there, but okay, good. Yeah. So I just love helping business owners. Like they usually have a dream, and I like helping them get there and achieve it. So
Yeah. And I'll say, as a business owner, like, I haven't had issues like that with like responsiveness or, people not getting straight to the point. But if I was working with another professional and that was the issue, I would struggle with that. So I very much appreciate, as a business owner, that you focus on just getting straight to the point, not beating around the bush and wasting time, and being available. That availability, that customer service aspect is so crucial. So you're doing great. Let's talk a little bit about, my dog is like, she so wants to be in the video today.
oh, what kind of dog? Well, she can make an appearance.
She's a corgi, so she's little. She's like right down at the floor, but
Oh,
she's like licking my ankles. So I'm just giving her a little love. Um, so
hilarious.
other than commercial lending, what are some of the other products and services that you offer?
So we are a full service bank, a national bank. So I can lend and provide all services in the whole state of Michigan and nationally. Obviously, for the lending aspect, I'd have to go see the property. So I'm only going to want to go, like if it's in Florida or somewhere.
Yeah.
But we offer all cash management solutions. We offer, so it's positive pay. We offer checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, money markets. Right now we have great rate,
Okay.
obviously on those, especially, new clients for sure. We offer business CDs, everything we do. And this is kind of what I love. I mean, there's a lot of things I love about Capital National, but we are dedicated to just business owners.
Okay.
So we are a business commercial bank.
Okay.
We don't go out. We don't do, we don't do personal mortgages. We'll do them sometimes for our business owners if they need something, but that's not our clients. That's not our target market, our targeted market. It's businesses. So everything we do is centered around businesses. So business money markets, business CDs, business checking accounts, savings accounts, you name it, all the cash management, we have business credit cards, and I can't say it enough, the cash management. A lot of businesses, we can do payroll, we can do it all, and usually cheaper than a lot of other banks. So it's kind of nice to have, and it's nice to have everything in one stop.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then and then another thing I absolutely love, and this was new to me. And so it was kind of funny. So when I went back to banking in 2017, I didn't expect to see anyone. And I'm like, does anyone even go into a bank anymore? Because I had not stepped foot in a bank, and I don't know how long, so it's kind of funny to see that. But in all the banks that I've had myself, and what I absolutely love, we have an amazing app, our Capital National app. And I wanted to show you this. Is it under messages? It is so cute. They show our tellers on it, and it'll show who's there. And it'll say, oh, do you have a question? So like, because I tell a lot of my clients on a lot of things, you can't just get to me, because if you want to just get to me, I might be in meetings all day.
Yeah.
If you want quick and it's something they should be able to tell you relatively quick. Just reach out to, do the messaging here, but I'm trying not to show you anything personal. You scroll down. So right now, say Capital National Bank. Welcome to Capital National Bank. Thank you for banking with us today. How can we help you? And it's Jack, Kim, and Kelly. And you
Oh,
see that in
that's
the bottom of their little
cool.
pictures. And so so if you're not getting me, you know who you're getting. And you're
Right.
going to send that message, and Jack, Kim, or Kelly are going to reply back to you. And if they can't answer it, they're going to tell you, hey, Katrina, hey, I'm not sure. Let me find out. And they know
Yeah.
they're going to know immediately. They have plenty of ways they can message me. But if I can't get back to them right away, I have such a great team here. We have such a great team of lenders and the tellers. We have an office also in Meridian Township in Okemos.
Okay.
And everyone's fantastic to work with. So I just love it. I've just never seen that in any other bank I've worked at, So I just thought that was really cool. And I can tell my clients, hey, message in the app and you're
Right.
going to get an answer. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like maybe there's some things that you've already said that touch on this a little bit, but I'm curious if there's anything else you want to add as far as what really sets you apart from other commercial lenders.
So I would say my willingness to always listen and to be there for them. What I do, and I don't know if everyone else does, I like to hear the past, what made you do this business? What got you here? And then what's your goals? What's your goal in 6 months? What's your goal in 12 months? And then what's your 3 to 5 year goal? Like, where do you see this happening? I know it's always a moving target and that can always move. So usually I always have like a good annual review. Sometimes I sit down or a lunch with my clients. We find out what's going on, what's changed. Let's say they never expected to go this route, but now they're like, wow, this just came out. As we know, the universe works in mysterious ways.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to look into this. Like I'll have clients text me, hey, well, this just came about. I didn't plan on this. What's your thoughts on this? I'll have some, ask that. So it's just like, or wow, you've been after me for years to buy a building and I never wanted to, but this just came up. Okay, let's move forward. Does it look good? Should we buy this building? I'll drive by the building. I'll take a look. I have an area of environmental specialists. I just can reach out all the way. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, hey, this might look good, but just FYI, we're gonna have this. So just
Mm-hmm.
so you go in with full glasses on, you can see everything.
Yeah.
Obviously I can miss stuff, they can miss stuff, but that's what I love, is listening and helping deliver to what their end goal is. I care about the past, the now, and the future, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share today?
So no, I had kind of joked to you about the having your pets spayed or neutered, but you have a dog, so you get it. Like, I work for a cat rescue. I help out a lot of cat rescues.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the whole Price is Right. Take that up. Yeah, have your pets spayed or neutered. No, it was horrible. If you ever look at rescues, and I made the mistake of following a dog rescue recently on Facebook, and I'm gonna have to unfollow it, like, or at least snooze it so I don't see them all, because it's horrific what people do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so other than I use passion about banking and business banking, commercial lending, and animals.
Okay.
So
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, and you've got such a bubbly personality. I will share all of your contact information, every way that people
awesome.
can get in touch with you. I'll put that in the caption for the video. And then whether you're a new or established business owner and you're looking for some lending or banking solutions, you should definitely reach out to Rebecca today. And then if you're interested in being featured on my Follow Friday series, you can send me an email at katrina@cornerstonelegalplc.com. Thanks for watching.